In what has turned into a party blame game in Alexandra, the community's issues now remain unattended. We're talking about that total shutdown that started in Alexandra earlier this week. Now, non-profit organisation Rays of Hope has been doing charity work in Alexandra for 28 years now. And to talk to us about the current situation, we're joined now by Rays of Hope CEO Sihle Mooi. Thanks very much, Mr. Mooi, for coming into studio.
Thank you very much for having me.
I mean, this situation in Alexandra is, you can't overstate it enough. It's not a new situation. This issue of people talking constantly about politicians only coming to that community during election time, and for the rest of the time, they are completely ignored. For you, what has sparked this latest total shutdown that we saw earlier this week and the rest of the protests?
I think, as you have stated already, the issues are not new. In fact, if you listen to the interviews of the various community members that are being asked, the things that they are saying are things that have been happening for a long time, and also they are all very different things. It's not that those things are not there, but it's just that actually those things are there, but over time it becomes a boiling point. Also, the fact that the elections are upon us makes it an opportune time for the community to raise these issues.
Yeah, absolutely. But it must be disheartening for an organisation like Rays of Hope when it turns into an issue of the DA saying, we are not to blame, the ANC was in power for longer than we were, and the ANC saying, yeah, we welcome the protest action against what is a DA-run area of South Africa.
You see, the issue of taking responsibility for Alex has been a historical challenge. And so over many years, Alexandra really has fallen in between. And so people would not really take responsibility for what happens there. And so what is happening today is really not new. And what that creates is that no one takes real responsibility for managing the situation. And so therefore there's no infrastructure that is being built, and therefore there is no real taking responsibility and improving the situation.
In terms of the work that Rays of Hope does, what is it that you do on the ground in that community?
Well, Rays of Hope, as you've said, has been there for 28 years. And so the work that we do is in three key areas. It's orphaned and vulnerable children, it's education, and it's work readiness. It is really about investing in individuals, in families, as well as the institutions, giving them the ability to be resilient, but also to solve their own problems in the community. Our work is really to partner with the community and not really to save the community.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big ask, to empower people to try and change their own situations when there really is so much working against individuals.
It is indeed. You see, we really believe that Alex, which was often called the Dark City, can really be a city of gold. You see, we wouldn't be there if we did not believe that. And so, in the work that we do every single day, we see really glimpses of that gold coming out, and that's why we continue to work there.
So let's just talk about some of the issues that residents have brought up. Of course, there is the service delivery issue, the delivery of houses to residents there. But there's also the issue of what they've called the mushrooming of informal settlements, and they say these informal settlements are occupied primarily by illegal immigrants to the country. What's your experience of that?
Our experience of that is that often we don't realize that Alex is the epicenter of rural migration, really, in South Africa.
Given its proximity, I'm sure, to Sandton.
To Sandton, to Randburg, to Midrand, to Rosebank, and all of these small cities, really, where employment is possible. And so the diversity within the population of Alex is really unprecedented, in my view, in our country. Because not only do you have the various people migrating from different parts of South Africa, but also really from different parts of Africa and living in Alex. And so you can imagine the cocktail of that and how it can be a ticking time bomb with the density of the population, with the constant pressures that many of the people there are under.
So the solution to what's unfolding in Alex, I mean, to say it's two-pronged is understating it. There are so many prongs to the various challenges facing the community there and the various communities within that one community in Alexandra. Where do we go from here? Because I get the sense that politicians often, the problems are insurmountable, and so there's this toing and froing between the ANC and the DA as we've seen it, but it means the residents themselves are not getting any answers. What do you reckon is your light at the end of the tunnel?
So what we are focusing on is really getting the members of the community to collaborate towards solving the solutions in their community. I think often what happens is that everyone is working in silos, and so as an organization, as one of the larger organizations in Alex, we are trying to bring everyone together, and we are trying to give them the tools that they need in order for them to actually confront as well as solve the issues that they're facing. What we need from those who are outside Alex is support, so that we can actually scale these solutions, so that we can actually, the solutions that are coming from the community, the people with the right heart and with the right motives can actually be put into practice so that they make real change.
Well, all the best to you. That's a mammoth task. Thanks very much for coming into studio. Sihle Mooi is CEO of Rays of Hope, which is a non-profit organization which has been doing work in Alexandra Township for the past 28 years. Now, still ahead for you on ENCA Now, reaction on that decision by the IEC to postpone implementing the Political Party Funding Act. Stay with us.